Hey there everyone, welcome back to Oh Brother Comics. Today, we're going to be giving you our top 10 most anticipated books that are coming out this Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. There's actually a decent list of books out there that are coming out this Wednesday, and it was really kind of tough to really get this list broken down into just 10, but Matt and I were able to do it. And unfortunately, Nick wasn't able to be here. He's got some other engagements he had to take care of, but that's okay. Matt and I are going to handle that and take care of this list. Matt, how's your week been, bro? How was the weekend?
It's been good, man. Just chilling, enjoying the family life, doing our thing. Yeah, it's been good. And just to kind of piggyback off what you said, like this was a tough list, dude. It was tough to get to 10. There's definitely more than 10 that I'm excited about. But I'm excited to talk about it. Like there's a lot of good books. I'm excited for Wednesday.
Heck yes. So let's go ahead and we'll dive right in because, I can't wait to go over this. But for our first book, let's go ahead and we'll start off. We decided to choose the Fantastic Four, number 35. And there's a couple reasons it seems like we went for this book. First is we have a first appearance of Scion, who is the last descendant of Kang. And it's the 60th anniversary issue, which is really cool for the Fantastic Four, as well as we get an origin story of the Fantastic Four as a backup story, and it's written by Mark Waid, which is really freaking cool. Matt, what's some of the reasons you're into this book?
Yeah, just like a lot of things that you said, it's always good to get those first appearances. Like there's so many Marvel movies coming out right now, and Fantastic Four's in the works. Kang is already on the screen, and he's going to be the big bad and Ant-Man and everything like that. But yeah, just a lot of those reasons. And this one, it's like, we're celebrating 60 years of Fantastic Four. These are like the OGs of comics, almost like, Stan Lee's the man. Rest in peace. And these are his characters. And so
we had such a hiatus without them for so long, so it's nice to actually have them back, and hopefully we get them in the MCU here soon. Now that, like you said, we got Kang, who's definitely setting up to be a really big part of the MCU.
Oh yeah.
So definitely, guys, pick this book up this week. It is definitely on our list. So for number 2 is actually one that I'm really interested in. And Matt, I think you were actually looking at this book as well, but we went with Ma number 1 by Boom Studios. And this book just seems like a really cool idea. It is a story that takes place with this woman who has been a victim of an assault. And the violent encounter awakens something in her that it triggers like these warped mutations and a hunger that she can't really bring herself to name. At least that's what it says in the little synopsis of the story. And it just seems like a really interesting story. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, like I am stoked on it. I know this is one we were like Nick was in this conversation earlier, and I know this is something you two like. I remember he like picked it up, and you're like, "Oh, I want to do that one." He's like, "Oh," and like it was one of those books where everyone was kind of excited for it. And it's just like with these indie books, man. Like there's like so many that are just hitting so hard, like between Boom Studios, Dark Horse, Image, whoever, like they're just coming out with these like really, really good books, and honestly you just don't know what's gonna be a Netflix series, what's gonna go on HBO, like who's gonna pick it up, like what's gonna be like a movie down the road. And so yeah, anything in these like number ones with a lot of these indie books, it's just fun to get on the train of those books and just kind of go for those rides with them.
Yeah, totally. And a spec aside, because I mean that's one thing, and but the story just sounds really cool, and indie books are just killing it right now. It's new stories, new ideas that are really kind of keeping us engaged. I mean, we've had so many years of these superhero books, which, don't get me wrong, still love the superhero books in the genre, but I'm really digging the indie stuff. I am loving these new ideas, these new stories that creators and writers are coming out with. So I don't see a reason why not to just pick these up and try them out and see what you think.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. It's so fun exploring, and it's fun to be like that guy too, to be like, oh, like I'm totally on this story right now, you got to check it out. It's fun to be that dude telling people like about these stories, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, just to share your excitement about it. It's really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
This next one on our list is another indie book. It's called Primordial number 1. And this one really had me interested, especially being working with space stuff and being a space nerd, this book actually starts the story out when I'm sorry, let me just get my thoughts here. But the story starts out in 1957 when the USS launched Laika into space, and the US responded by sending Abel and Baker, these two monkeys, into space. Well, in the story, all these animals never returned. Well, the dog was Laika. That's the one that the Russians sent up. So so the U.S. sends up the monkeys in response to this, because we were in that space race going back and forth. So in this book, it's got a really cool idea, because the animals never return, and the U.S. and Russia and just people just figured that they died in the event kind of thing. But that's not what happened. We find out that they were taken by another species out there, and now they are coming back to Earth.
Dude, that's actually really cool, because you saying all that wasn't even on my mind. I was like stoked for the story for like, US versus Russia, Cold War era, space race, like, but you're talking about like legit history, and I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't know about these animals, like these monkeys and these dogs that got lost. And you talking about that, I'm genuinely in this moment like more excited. This is not like a scripted moment. Like, I didn't even know, like, I'm a huge history buff and history nerd, and I didn't even know about these animals. Like, I didn't know it was based off any real thing.
Yeah, I think this is written by Jeff Lemire as well.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I mean, seen that, but yeah, I'm actually I'm stoked on the story even more now that you're talking about it. Yeah. You got me pumped.
I mean, I could see this, definitely see this being a big book. It should be a lot of fun. And Jeff Lemire's been really hitting some amazing ideas in books lately. So I am really on board with this, and I will definitely be picking this up this week.
That's right. And then when you mentioned that, there is the Jeff Lemire variant that is going to be coming out. So
yeah, that's true. Right. It's an incentive variant, I believe, 1 in 100 you were saying. And it's got a really cool cover like that. So if you guys are collectors and Jeff Lemire fans, definitely look for that cover when it comes out.
Yeah.
All right, moving along, we're going to move to our number 4 pick. We went with Eternals, Thanos Rises #1. And I'll throw this over to you, Matt. This was one that you were really interested in. So what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, dude. So I always love, like, especially in the comic books, like, I always love Thanos stories. I think mentioning Cosmic Ghost Rider, like all these characters that are kind of surrounded with him, and Donny Cates, like doing a lot of the Thanos story back in the day or a few years back. I'm always just super stoked on a new Thanos story. Like, I've never read a book or like a series of Thanos that I didn't enjoy. Like, they've always been super well done. And this one specifically, as we're getting closer to like the Eternal movie, you could tell it's definitely kind of riding off of that hype right now. It's like I'm guessing kind of like a retelling of the origin of Thanos, and specifically what led up to like his creation and like why he is or who he is and things like that. And we already kind of know the backstory of Thanos. We kind of know a little bit about his history, but I think we're just going to get a little bit more insight or more of an in-depth look of like the Eternals and like how he fits in the equation and what all happened amongst them as we're getting closer to this movie as well. And it's just like a little one shot. Like, Chris knows I'm a big fan of like shorter the better series. Like, I love the little one shots to like, if you're going past 12 issues to tell a story, like, I don't got the attention for that. Like, I love shorter the better. So yeah, I like the one shots. I love little short contained stories and stuff like that.
Heck yeah, bro. That sounds awesome. And I mean, like you said, they're definitely going to be doing a lot more of the Eternal stuff as the movie gets closer to release. And that's what Marvel does. I mean, look at Kang. He's in everything right now. So, I mean, they definitely like to push the characters that are coming out in the films. And this does sound like a pretty cool story and something that I never really knew. Because, I mean, is Thanos an Eternal? Or, I that's something I never knew.
Yeah, as far as I understand, he is an Eternal. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So, I'll definitely be picking this up, and we'll find out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Moving along to number 5 on this list. This is one that, is no surprise for us. I mean, we are big Star Wars fans, but we decided to go with Star Wars: The Bounty Hunters. This is Bosch #1, I believe it's
Either
pronounced
Bosch,
Bosch something.
I'm just saying, we were just talking about, but it's only in print, so no one, until George Lucas or someone says it, we hear it on screen. Say it however you want.
Oh, exactly, right. Well, in this case, it'd be Disney telling us how to say it. But
that's true.
Yeah, the reason why this one's on our list is it gives us the origin and the first appearance of this bounty hunter Bosch, and the first time we saw this character, or what looked like this character, was when Leia basically you had his armor, and hope maybe we'll find out how she gets that armor in this book, but she wore this to Jabba Hutt's palace in order to try and save Han from carbonite there. That was the first time we saw that.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of cool that they're actually bringing this character to light and giving him a backstory and an origin, and we get to see his crew. And from what it sounds like, it does sound like he's going to be going on a mission that is going to basically lead up to where Leia possibly does acquire this armor. So really cool idea.
And that is what is really cool, because when I saw this issue like coming out this week, I had like two questions like came to my mind, or two ideas came to my mind, where I remember in the movie like Return of the Jedi, like Boba Fett gives him like a respectful head nod, and as a kid, or as I got older, like I always like, oh, he's just giving him kudos for capturing Chewie, like that must have been that interaction. But like now, like that we're gonna get more depth to this character, like it's got me thinking that he is an established bounty hunter, like he is someone with some respect on his name, for Boba Fett to like give him that head nod. And then the second question, the second idea, which I think we're gonna get the answer to, is how the hell did Leia get this armor from this seemingly well-established, well-respected bounty hunter? That's like her wearing Boba Fett's, like, I don't want to compare him, right? I don't want to go that far. That's like comparing.
Well, I mean, we had Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth from The Mandalorian, who had Boba's armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, he got it from the Jawas. So
yeah. But he didn't get it from Boba Fett.
Right. He didn't get it from
that's
Boba
the
Fett,
thing is, how did Princess Leia, get it from this dude that kind of like now I'm feeling like is a highly regarded bounty hunter, if Boba Fett is giving him
it's true, a lot of questions.
His props, so it's cool. It gets me excited.
Heck yeah. So definitely be picking this up, guys. You should pick this up as well, especially if you're Star Wars fans, and if you're a collector's first appearance of Bosch, definitely a good book to pick up this week. All right, moving along to
Bosch,
Bosch, whatever. All right, well, moving along to number 6. This one is a book that I'm really excited for. I know I tell you guys and friends at work, like, you guys got to check out this show, but it's Harley Quinn, the animated series, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour #1. I just fell in love with the animated series. It's so good. I just love how they portray all the characters in there. They have fun with it. They dig at villains and characters and kind of make fun of themselves. And Harley and Ivy were just so well developed in there that I want more. And this is going to be the comic form of those stories. So I can't wait. This one is going to be a lot of fun. It does state that Harley and Ivy are on a road trip of the century, following a wedding disaster of the decade. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy end up on the run from Commissioner Gordon and the GCPD. But as fun as all that sounds, Ivy still worries over leaving Kite Man at the altar. Luckily, Harley got the perfect scheme to shake her out of the wedding day blues. And Matt, if you don't know, which you haven't watched this yet, that is something that's really big in the show, because Ivy and Kite Man are a couple at one point in the show, and it's awesome.
That's a very interesting dynamic, man.
Yeah, and they really do a good job of portraying that in the show, because Kite Man of all people, ends up getting Ivy to fall for him, kind of thing. It's a really cool thing that they do.
That's good. I feel like Kite Man's kind of like the DC version of Squirrel Girl, sort of like kind of that joke Kuro character. I don't know.
Hey, and
Squirrel Girl, what I mean? It's
like Thanos.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's like one of they're just those two kind of characters that people make. It makes you kind of like take pause for a second, but then you like appreciate kind of the joke of who they are and what they accomplish. So yeah, Squirrel Girl beat Thanos, and Kite Man got poison ivy.
And you know what's funny is there's an ongoing joke in the show where, you know, they're trying to find a venue for their wedding, and Kite Man's arch nemesis is Condiment King. And so, you know, he's running around there. He's got his, like, you know, mustard and ketchup and mayonnaise around his belt and stuff in his suit. And they just are talking crap back and forth. It's hilarious, guys.
Oh, man. I gotta check this show out, dude.
It's so
You keep
good.
telling me, I gotta do it.
It's so good. And guys, definitely, if you're going to watch it, make sure your kids aren't around, because it is definitely an adult show. But regardless, getting back to the comic, I will definitely be picking this up on Wednesday, and I hope it is just as good as the show. All right. Keeping this rolling, we're going to continue on to number 7. This is one that, Matt, you and I are big fans of, and I know you're always bringing these guys up, but it's Trailer Park Boys, Bagged and Boarded, number 1. So I'll throw this one over to you, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm so pumped. I love the Trailer Park Boys. I love the show. The first comic that came out that they did, I absolutely love. When I went to KC with Nick, we got to meet a lot of the guys that were part of the team. I loved hearing the stories. Everything about it. Like, I just love Trailer. I was watching it actually earlier today, and my daughter was watching it, and I was like, "Don't tell your mom." But dude, I was gonna turn it off, but I thought like most of the jokes would go over her head. But she was like cracking up, dude. Like, she loves Bubbles, and she like loves Ricky falling down all the time, and like. But dude, I love it, and I'm stoked for this book, dude. Like, reading kind of through it, it's just gonna be another collection of stories. They're gonna be cavemen, etc. Whatever. They're gonna have wild adventures. We're gonna see the Green Bastard. So as a spec, I'm saying first appearance of the Green Bastard. Who doesn't want that in their collection? I'm gonna be getting this book for sure. I'm gonna be checking out the variants. Actually, I'm looking at the variants right now, kind of seeing what we got coming up. We got one with the Green Bastard himself on the cover. That would be the cover D. I don't know, one of the variants. But yeah, dude, I'm pumped for this book. I love this story. It's just got so many just memories attached of like growing up with like old roommates and buddies, and just like that chapter of life. Like, this was such a big part of that chapter of life, you know?
Totally, man. Yeah. I am definitely going to be picking this up as well. I mean, anyone that is a fan of Julian, Ricky, Bubbles, any of those guys, like, definitely you are going to enjoy these books. And from what it sounds like, after you guys met the guys that are behind all this stuff over at the KC Con, like, they seem like amazing guys, and they're not going to disappoint you. They definitely know how to write these stories, and from what I've heard, they talk directly with those guys from the Trailer Park Boys to make sure that it is written just right.
Yeah, yep. The Trailer Park Boys themselves, like the main characters, like they got final say. Like, it's legit. It's authentic to the characters, because the characters, whatever the real names are, forgive me, I have no idea, but like they say what goes and what needs to change and what stays. So it's it's just got the feel. Like, it feels like a Trailer Park Boy episode, except in comics.
Yeah, and I'll go and I'll salute Julian. You know, got my drink here too.
There you go, with my water, but you know.
But guys, if you are Trailer Park Boy fans, definitely pick this one up on Wednesday. All right, moving along. This is another one that you are interested in, Matt. This one is the Last Annihilation, Wakanda #1, and it has to follow M'Baku, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, go ahead. I'll throw it over to you, bro.
Oh, yeah, sure. So didn't want to interrupt.
No.
So yeah, I think this one is just kind of, it's gonna be cool. Like, I think more on, like, honestly, on the spec side. I'm still excited for like the story. Like, this is something, like, admittedly I haven't been following. This is like I believe a conclusion.
It looks like it's a tie-in to the Last Annihilation event that's kind of going.
Yeah, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. So it is like a tie into that, which I haven't really been following too much. But as far as the character goes, in Baku or Baku, whatever, I think, like, as a spec, like, we have the next Black Panther movie coming and everything, and he's supposed to have like a heroic moment, and I don't know what that means. Like, to me, my mind goes like, could it be like a sacrifice? Like, are we getting the death of M'Baku in this story? Like, so something like that. It could be something fun to pick up and get before like it gets super hot later on. And then in the description it says it's gonna say a new hero emerges. So who is that? Is that M'Baku as a new character, or is it a new character period? I don't know. So there's a lot of questions that seem like could pay off down the road as a spec goes. You know what I mean?
Totally. And like you said, mentioning the Black Panther film that's going to be coming later, probably next year at some point, or the year after. But I mean, rumors is that Shuri is supposed to be taking over the mantle as Black Panther. But a lot of people were speculating that M'Baku might be a good candidate for that, and maybe they're going to kind of play with that idea in this story.
Yeah, it could be. Like, there is a variant that they do have a cover, and he is in like it's definitely not a Black Panther outfit, but it's definitely something that doesn't look like Wakanda like made. So he could be. He's kind of got like the Mr. T haircut going, like looks like Mr. T with some like kind of, I don't know, like what's it called, psionic, I don't know, like kind of like the Green Lantern powers.
Oh really? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just so many questions that I feel like it's just worth picking up just in case it hits on something. Like, it just, it seems like there's a lot of substance there. I don't know what, it's hard to guess what, but it just feels like there's a lot of substance to this book.
I feel you, bro. Well, guys, if you feel the same way, definitely pick this up on Wednesday. Moving along, this is another one that Matt actually got us into, but Jupiter's Legacy Requiem #4. Matt has been a huge fan of Jupiter's Legacy. What are you waiting for in this book, or what are you looking forward to?
Man, just every book is like fire. Every book hits, bro. Like, everything back from like Jupiter's Legacy to Jupiter's Circle to like now we're in Jupiter's Legacy Requiem. Like, every book is bomb, dude. Like, there's not a single book that is filler. There's not a book that's bad. Like, yeah, I'm just so pumped on this book, and we're getting a lot more answers into like where their powers are coming from. Like, we're getting, like, they're traveling to other planets, like there's other alien races involved now. Yeah, it's just super cool, and it's just everything about it. Like, they're kind of following Skyfox's like father. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought for a second here. But yeah, they're kind of following like Chloe and Skyfox around a little bit more. Like, we're kind of getting to know like the offspring, like Jason and his brothers and things like that a little bit more, like the offspring of Chloe. Yeah, it's just, dude, it's just so good. Like, it's like, as I'm thinking about why I'm so excited, I'm overwhelmed by all the reasons. Like, my brain's going too fast trying to think of like specific things, but man, it just hits. Every book is great. Like, Netflix is a fool. Netflix, like, what are they like, how? I don't know how they could get rid of this, like, why they would cut this. Like, someone's gonna pick it up and they're gonna make bank, like, turn this into a movie, turn this into like a trilogy, like, or more of like a bigger franchise. But man, Netflix, you've done messed up, bro. Like,
which I get. I did enjoy the show. That was really the first introduction I had to Jupiter's Legacy. And I mean, I honestly, my favorite parts, at least from what you've told me, are the stuff that aren't necessarily in the book, in there, kind of thing. Like their whole origin story and how they first got their powers and stuff. Like, I was really on point with that with Netflix, and I do feel that they should have definitely given it at least a second season, give it a chance to kind of flesh that story out. Because there is a lot of cool stuff from what you've told us that I'm like, man, that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah, like Netflix, like, I know we've talked about this in other videos. I don't want to make it too long, but like, yeah, Netflix they didn't even get to like the tip of the iceberg, man. Like, they didn't even get to the story of what is Jupiter's Legacy. Like, and then they dropped it. They never got to like why the story is there. Like, they didn't get to anything about it. So like, yeah, they got rid of it too quick. I feel like someone's gonna pick it up. I don't know, but the books, like, they're just so good, man. They're just so well written. Mark Millar, like, such a great storyteller. Like, how he came up with this story is just like, it like pumps me up. Like, this is the type of book, man, that like makes me want to write. Like, it makes me want to create. It makes me want to draw. Like, it makes me like think of like try to think of my own original stories. Like, it's like an inspirational book. Like, and it, like, honestly, dude, like,
wow,
it's
that's
just
awesome.
it's just that good of a friggin' story. So yeah, Netflix is stupid.
Well, definitely, bro. You should definitely keep going after those creative juices, man. And hey, throw down some ideas, and maybe we'll be talking about your book up here soon.
One day.
One day. All right, guys. Well, if you're a Jupiter's Legacy fan, definitely pick up this Requiem. I mean, I can't say anything more. Matt laid it down on the table right there, man.
Sorry. I know that was definitely long-winded, but
no, it
I
was
get so
great.
excited.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Well, this next book I'm actually quite excited for, and I know you and I were talking about it a little earlier, but number 10 on our list is Nobody's Child #1. This story is an interesting kind of idea. I'll just go and I'll read like the little blurb about it, but it says, in an unspecified time in the future, it is discovered that within a special breed of albino rhinoceros, oh gosh, I can't even say that, albino rhinos, there is a genetic code that holds the properties to regenerate man and can cure all diseases, even those very serious. As a result, in the short period of time, this albino rhino becomes nearly extinct, leaving just one Sabium left. And enter Bakari, who is this boy dealing with his own devastation, who now decides to dedicate his life to protecting this rhino. Now that's just kind of a cool idea, and something that we see in today's world where human beings, like, we just take all this stuff for granted and we just think about ourselves kind of thing. And how many times do we see like species getting driven to extinction or very close to extinction because, you know, there's some medical treatment that people think like shark fin or, you know, rhino horn or, you know, stuff like this that, you know, you just end up killing all these animals and basically bringing them to extinction kind of thing. I don't know, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's like a story kind of similar to like what I was talking about earlier. It's just one of those indie stories that just seems so interesting that you want to, like, it's like a #1, you want to get on board with it before it's like, you know, it gets to issue 4, issue 5, like it starts getting to where you feel like you can't catch up. But like it sounds super interesting. Like, I think, like you said, a lot to it. But yeah, it's a book that I am genuinely interested in. Like the cover, just kind of like that was what kind of jumped out to me about the book, was like the cover itself. It's like the rhino, he's got his horns cut off already. Like, you got the dude, you got the skeletons of it looks like rhinos, but then like if you look closely, there's like these characters with like glowing red eyes and things like that, and he's missing a leg, like the dude on the front. And so there's just a lot of things that's just so intriguing about the issue and in the plot itself, where like he finds this rhino where it has the cure to like all of man's diseases or ailments or illness or whatever. And it's just like such a cool story. I want to see what they do with it. I want to see how they tell this story and how like the flow is and where it goes and things like that. It's just very intriguing and very interesting.
Yeah, I'm really going to be excited to pick this up and really dive into it, because it almost kind of it hits real close to home kind of thing. And so I could definitely see this actually happening. I mean, maybe not curing all the diseases, and that just adds like a nice little, you know, extra flavor to the story and really drives why people are going after these creatures. But I mean, yeah, I've been loving a lot of these indie books that really kind of bring issues that we deal with in our lives, in our world kind of thing, and really kind of brings them to the forefront and gets people thinking about this kind of stuff. So, I'm really excited, guys. I also definitely want to shout out here, because another content creators channel, You Promised Me Comics, with Caroline and Sparks, they have an exclusive cover for this book coming out, and it is awesome. I have definitely already picked up my copy from them, and if you guys watch them or are interested in this book, definitely check them out and check out that exclusive and hit them up, because I believe this is probably going to sell out pretty quick. And yeah, I can't say much more. Like, they're an awesome channel. I'm really looking forward to this book. I hope they do well with it, and I'll just go ahead and I'll leave it at that.
Sounds good.
Heck yeah. Well, all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's top 10 most anticipated books for us. Hope you guys enjoyed this list. Please definitely leave us a comment down below and let us know if there are any books that we may have missed on this list that you're excited for, because we'd love to check them out and talk about them. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Definitely hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy this. It helps us out a lot. and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content, like our Wednesday comic book review and the Friday 10 and 10. So guys, with that,
Check them out.
definitely check them out. And with that, we'll go ahead and we'll leave you guys. Hopefully we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.